everyone, Shabby here. Welcome back to our next episode of SWE Octane. I didn't press record early enough and I missed all the fireworks. That's a bit of a bugger, isn't it? What kind of stupid person forgets to press the bloody record button, eh? The annoying thing is you can't play back the bloody fireworks. Once they're done, they're done. You can't like come out and go back in again. So unfortunately, we're going to be fireworkless for this one. We've had our budget for fireworks cut, unfortunately, today. But we're going to start things off with a all-UK match. We have Tyler Bate taking on Noam Dar. And here we go. Looking forward to this one. It should be a good match, this. Two guys, both very accomplished wrestlers, but both classed as cruiserweights as well, I suppose. And of course, out comes Trent Seven to accompany his tag team partner Tyler Bate to ringside. Now, it looks like from reading the recent taping results and so forth, that it looks like Mustache Mountain are going to start moving forward as a tag team here in NXT, which is pretty cool, actually. It's something I've wanted to see for a while, and it looks like they're finally going to go for it. And what confused me, because I saw on NXT that they challenged Kyle O'Reilly and Bobby Fish to a match, which was awesome. But that match never happened on this next set of tapings, which confused me. Whether they're saving it for TakeOver, which is a possibility, I don't know. But yeah, I feel like TakeOver should definitely be pushed forward to a 3-hour show now as well. I think, in my opinion, NXT should become a 2-hour show, and the pay-per-view should become a 3-hour show. I think they have so much talent now in the NXT roster that it just seems stupid not to do it. There's just that much talent. There's just so much opportunity they could push and really make a really, really good 2-hour show. But it would probably completely overshadow Raw and SmackDown. And that's good because it's the one show that Vince hasn't got a touch on. And you can tell because of the quality of it. Real quality. And Noam Dar, someone who, of course, is going to be on the game for 2K18. Tyler Bate and Trent Seven, I'm hoping will be on the game. But if they are, I'm assuming it is going to be as DLC. Well, it's going to be DLC now, isn't it? Because they have been... the full roster has already been announced and they weren't on there. So it's definitely going to be DLC if they are on there now. But let's see how they get on here this evening. Of course, all three of these guys are 99% sure to be... on our 2K18 rollout. Noam Dar is 100% sure because he's on the game. Tyler Bate and Trent Seven, they'll probably be really easy calls to get a hold of, so they'll be in the game straight away more or less as well. So 99% that all these three guys will be on our roster. But what shows will they be on? Of course, now that Pete Dunne has aligned himself with, of course, Mustache Mountain and reformed British Strong Style as a stable, that means that if Pete Dunne wins the European Championship at Shabby Mania in a week or so time, half a week and a half, the 30th of September, Shabby Mania's Octane show. Yeah, if he wins that, then of course Mustache Mountain will stay on Octane. We've got some really good matches actually. We've got a 6-woman ladder match going to happen at Octane Shabby Mania for Women's Championship. Whether that's a wise idea, I've got no idea. Fisherman suplex there by Noam Dar. Matches we've got for you this evening. After this one, we have got the Revival taking on Cesaro and Sheamus in a tag team match. Then we've got Cody taking on Curtis Axel. We're going to see William Regal taking on Daniel Bryan. And then our main event is Kenny Omega versus Christopher Daniels. Of course, we've not got a lot on at the moment. We've got... I've got Kenny Omega versus Daniel Bryan lined up for Shabby Mania. Jack Gallagher versus Pete Dunne. We've got Tyler Bate versus Trent Seven versus Marty Scurll in a triple threat. We have got the Bucks taking on the Time Splitters for the Tag Team Championships. We have got, of course, that big Octane Championship match. Drew Galloway makes his first championship defense after winning it via the Money in the Bank. He's going to defend it against Hiroshi Tanahashi, who held the belt for all of 30 seconds before it was taken from him. And, of course, Ric Flair. Noam Dar now winding up. He winded up an elbow, went for a knee instead by the looks of it. Spinning leg drop on Tyler Bate. And Noam Dar, this would be a massive win for him, this would. If he can pull this up, went for the drop kick to the knee, but Tyler Bate avoids it. Noam Dar, big clubbing blow against the back of Tyler Bate. Takes him up into a reverse suplex. Noam Dar now with the pin. Whoa. Referee. Oh my god, this bloody game. It was literally 30 centimetres away from his head and he completely missed it. Referee. Right, in my opinion, that falls into the bracket of dodgy, glitchy moments in the game. So we are going to restart this match. The referee is going to be fined for this one because that is absolutely diabolical, referee. I think this referee is going to get sacked at this rate. It is my decree, this match shall restart straight away. Referee rings the bell for the second time. And we are back underway. Referee, that was diabolical. I mean, I like the fact that sometimes you can put your arm on the rope and the referee doesn't see it. But when the referee's staring straight at it when he's making his count, it's just awful, isn't it? It really is. And I'm hoping that's something that's been fixed on 2K18. I really like the idea of it, but it's just not been very well placed, has it really? That's the problem. Now I'm down with a headlock on Tyler Bate. Tyler sending Dar into the ropes, brings him back. Looking for that hip toss, but Dar reversing into a hip toss of his own. Now wrenching back of the arm of Tyler Bate. How much damage was done in that first little match? That match was so short that I can't imagine much damage was done. But would it be enough to finish? Well, not finish Tyler Bate off, but weaken him for this second match anyway. Neckbreaker by Tyler Bate on Noam Dar. Boot in the head there by Dar on Bate. Another good arm drag. It's been a bit of a messy night so far, isn't it? Between me forgetting to press record when the fireworks went off, and of course this match ending with such a dodgy count out. It was really dodgy, wasn't it? But hopefully this time we're going to get something good. Tyler Bate up on top. Into the double axe handle. Catches the referee somehow as well. Not quite sure how that happened, but referee's down. Noam Dar, big uppercut there on Pete Dunne. Drags him across. Now looking for that fisherman's, but Pete Dunne reverses it into a Northern Light suplex. Was going to bridge for the pin, but realised the referee was still down. Referee is now back up on his feet. As Tyler Bate dropping an elbow right into the back of Noam Dar. Bate in with a pin. 1, 2. Only a 2 count. Tyler Bate now raking away at the eyes of Noam Dar. And hooks him in for that half Nelson slam. Bate brings Dar back up to his feet. Face first into the turnbuckle. Looking for that rake to the back, but... oh, what's Bate got planned here? Lines up Noam Dar through the turnbuckle, in with that tornado DDT. Harnessing the spirit of one Sami Zayn. Can you remember those matches when Sami Zayn first debuted in NXT and he faced off against Cesaro? That was an amazing little feud, that was. And those were the first matches where I really started to realise that NXT was the indie scene of WWE. Knee drop. Oh, don't let this end in a double count out. Please don't let this end in a double count out. That'd be typical if this game had done this to me. Referee's up to a 6 count. These two guys still fighting on the outside. Come on. Get him back in the bloody ring. Straight into the turnbuckle post. What is going on this game? I hate this game so much. Get in the ring. Thank God for that. It would have been typical if we ended up with one bloody rope break and then a double count. That would have been bloody typical, wouldn't it? But there's the pin by Tyler Bate. It's enough for the 2 count there on Noam Dar. Have a real love-hate relationship with this game. Hopefully, I think 2K18 is going to be better because they're bringing back this. They're bringing in this lifting thing, where you can pick up and lift your opponent and carry them to where you want them. So that might be a much better way for 2K18 rather than this dodgy process we're currently going through. Tyler Bate fighting back there, right hand right in the gut, and then a big one into a half Nelson slam once again. Tyler Bate again with a pin. 1, 2, and 3. There we go. Tyler Bate picks the victory over Noam Dar. It was an iffy match here and there. It really was, wasn't it? But it was a win for Tyler Bate in the end. Noam Dar's not going to be happy because he did get the free count at one point, but of course it was quite a clear rope break that the referee somehow, even though it was 2 meters away, not even 2 meters, 20 centimeters away from his face, completely missed it. And there was this straight off the turnbuckle post. This is the point where I got very annoyed and thought we were going to end up with a double count out, but Tyler Bate thankfully managed to get him back in the ring just in time. And went for the pin. But of course it was only enough for a 2 count at that point. And the half Nelson slam there by Tyler Bate on Noam Dar. In for the pin. And that was enough. It was the second time he's hit it in the match. And it was enough to get him the victory. Tyler Bate victorious. Takes up his plaudits. And that's a very important 5 points for him in the rankings. That's really going to help push him forward. Of course, like I said, these 3 guys definitely going to be involved in 2K18. And ranking points are all important. Not only for singles, but of course for tag team. And of course, I have got some tournaments in mind. Some new tournaments. We're going to redo a few of the tournaments we've had here so far. King of the Cruiserweights and so forth. But there's going to be some interesting new ones as well. And here is our second match of the evening. And it is going to be a bit of tag team action. The Revival take on the team of Cesaro and Sheamus. And here we go. Again, another very interesting match. Both these teams not currently scheduled to be involved in Shabmania, but there's still time. I have a few spots left for the pay-per-view. But both, of course, are going to be involved in 2K18. And this is a very important way for them to pick up some points as well. Of course, both these teams could be, I think definitely Cesaro and Sheamus could be utilised a lot of singles as well. I think the Revival are a very good tag team. I wouldn't really split them up at all. I think they are what they are. Tag team is the way forward with these guys. Of course, on this game, in this universe mode, currently they are alongside both Arn Anderson and Ric Flair as the new Horseman. Will we put that through into 2K18? It's undecided at the moment. I think things will come a lot clearer as we move forward. I think I've missed the Revival a bit. I think the main roster has not been as good for them, I don't think. What they need to do, in my opinion, is they need to move the writers from NXT up to the main roster, because those are the guys that are doing fantastic work. And I think SmackDown is having major problems with writing at the moment. Raw's doing a bit better recently. It had a lot of problems last year, Raw. And then I think a few people got moved around, and then SmackDown's now having a bit of problems. I mean, Road Dogg, Jesse James, as part of the writing staff on SmackDown, has been quite comical, really. And he thinks he's one of the best writers out there by the looks of it. He's always defending... I think he put on Twitter the other day about how SmackDown's currently the best it has been in years. Or in decades, even. For quality of the storylines. And yeah, I think he got brought down to earth pretty quickly by people's responses to that. So Cesaro and Sheamus, by looks of the screenshots on 2K18, they are a tag team. Not quite sure if their tag team entrance and attires, and I don't think they've got much. I don't think they have got a different attire, have they, for the tag team? But I don't know. Right, we're gonna try this match again. This game, I hate this game so much. I really do. It's just so. We've had 2 matches here this evening. One of them ended with that stupid rope break. We had to redo it. This one ended as a double count out as Cesaro just kept throwing Scott Dawson into Dash Wilder's legs while he was stood in the turnbuckle, stood in the apron where he is now, and they couldn't get back in the ring in time. It was a double count out. It's just so stupid. There's no intelligence in these characters at all. There's no thought process of there's something in the way, I need to go a different direction. There's nothing about that in this game, and it so frustrates me so bloody much. But we're on the final hurdles now, aren't we? We're on the final hurdles. The final episode of each brand before we hit our big Shabby Mania pay-per-view. Lovely fall-away slam there by Sheamus on Dash Wilder. Sheamus bringing Dash back up, but Dash fighting back, sending Sheamus over the top and dropping a boot quite across his chest. Dash now dragging? Dash now dabbing, dragging Sheamus back into the ring. Back into the middle of the ring. I'm losing it, I really am. I'm really losing it here. Sheamus sending Dawson off that side, then brings him back in over the top, dropping him spine first right on the mat. It's going to be a painful manoeuvre, that one. Sheamus taking Scott Dawson. I'm looking for that white noise already. Wow, he's hit that pretty early on. Very early on. Sheamus now just wrenching back at the face and raking the eyes of Scott Dawson. Went for the clubbing blow to the back, but Scott Dawson avoided it. Then Sheamus, it's a mess of reversals there. It really was. Some stuff defying the laws of physics. And that just sums it up, doesn't it, really? Scott Dawson trying to hit a move while Dash Wilder comes in and hits his own tag team partner in the back, forcing him to stop the move. It's just... I don't know what it is. I think the game... I'm sure the game was more stable than this when it was first released. That's the thing that confused me the most. It was better than this when it was first released. There was not as many issues. I don't know what's happened to it. I really don't. I don't know. We had this before, didn't we? Where we got so far into a universe mode, and eventually the save file just got a little bit confused, and things started to come. I've found this a lot with games recently. Like it's been happening with me with Skyrim. The further I get into Skyrim, the buggier it becomes. Like when we first started it, it was very clean. It was very good. There was no problems. Then as time's gone on, we've got further and further into it. It has become more buggy, and I think that's become the same with this game, to be honest. As Sheamus now taking Dash up on his shoulders, looking for the Celtic Cross, launched him across the ring. There's the pin. 1, 2, and 3, and there we go. Victory here for Sheamus and Cesaro over the Revival. And that second variation, see, that's what it should be like. That second version of the match was spot on. That's what it should be like. Apart from, of course, Dash attacking his own... Sorry, yeah, Dash attacking his own partner, making him drop that move he was doing. But yeah, it was good. Cesaro came in and blocked off the opposing partner. That was how it should be. But the first version of the match was just... Yeah, you won't have seen that. I would have cut that out, hopefully. Unless I was drunk when I was doing the editing again, which has happened before. So Cesaro and Sheamus continue to look pretty strong in this universe mode. And I think they would be quite a force to be reckoned with in 2K18. Good win for them. Very good win. And here's our next match then. It is going to be Curtis Axel taking on Cody Rhodes. And here we go then. It's going to be an interesting match, this one, of course. I feel for Curtis Axel because he had a strong push when he first came in. And I'm not saying I quite liked him as such, but I thought he was a decent level for what he was being pushed for. And I was quite impressed by it all, to be honest. But unfortunately, as time's gone on, it's not quite worked out for him, and he's been forced into a more of a jobbing style role here and there. Well, he's not technically not a job. I don't know. Is he a jobber? He doesn't really put a lot of people over anymore, does he? Because he's part of the Miz Taraj. It's more of a. He doesn't often get a lot of matches now, does he? It's more sort of backing up the Miz really as much as he can. And that could be something we do in 2K18 actually, the Miz Taraj. Although I don't know, it's a bit of an iffy one. It doesn't make a lot of difference in 2K having the managers this year. Maybe next year the managers might have more of an effect. But I would like to see some stuff happen, like if you've got two managers, like one manager distracts the referee while the other manager does something, that'd be pretty interesting. But I don't know if the game is that clever as yet, but we'll wait and see what happens. We don't know a huge amount about 2K18 yet. We know the roster, we know the odd bits and bobs, but we don't know too much about it, especially the universe mode. We're very much limited on knowledge about that. We know there's been a big improvement in storylines and much more flexible storylines moving forward, so flexible storylines is a good thing. It means that we're not going to have to be stuck with 4-week feuds. Feuds can last any length of time. They don't have to be just 4 weeks. There could be 3 weeks, there could be 5 weeks, there could be 6 weeks, could be 8 weeks, could be 10 weeks, could be 1 week, could be 2 weeks, whatever you want. So that's pretty good, at least. And here then comes Cody Rhodes. Oh, sorry, no. Here comes Cody, no surname. Because his surname... I can't believe his surname is owned by WWE. I think that's something that he should take to court, really, because surely you should be able to be known as your own name. Granted, if WWE give you... I suppose that's not his real name, is it? Am I going mad here? I think I'm going mad here. I think I might be thinking of someone else. I'm thinking of somebody else. Yeah, no, I'm right, actually. No, Rhodes isn't actually his surname, is it? His real name's Cody Runnels. That's his real name. I thought it was. Yeah, his real name's Cody Runnels. Yeah, because Dusty was called Virgil Riley Runnels. So he could go as Cody Runnels on the indie scene if he wanted to, I suppose. So yeah, it's not as odd as I was just saying it's really odd the fact that WWE own his surname, but it's not actually his surname, is it? His surname is actually Runnels. But I think Cody's enough. I think people know exactly who he is by Cody, don't they, really? And it'd be interesting to see whether he does make his way back to WWE at some point in the future. I think at the moment he's really enjoying his time away, though, isn't he? He's working across the country for some really good shows. Granted, I think he's getting a bit frustrated with some bookers that are probably not as professional, by judging by his Twitter page, that is. He's ended up in quite a few situations where he's not been very impressed by the people that have been booking him, and a little bit annoyed with the whole situation, to be honest. But I think with New Japan and Ring of Honor and that sort of stuff, Ring of Honor champion, I think he's finally getting the pushes that he wanted. Main eventing shows and that sort of stuff, and working with Bullet Club. I think he's more than happy. The thing is, if he goes back to WWE, what are they going to do with him? And I think that's the one thing that a lot of other companies do better than WWE. Like, even TNA and Global Force do it better than WWE. They actually book the right people in the right positions. Like, we all know that Cody Rhodes should have been at least Intercontinental, if not upper mid-card, if not main event, for quite some time of his career in WWE. And he did get Intercontinental glory here and there, but towards the end of his career he was pushed as this Stardust character and just wasted, really, where he could have been used really well. For me, the biggest loss of potential of Cody Rhodes' career, for me, was the whole thing with Damien Sandow and the briefcase. That had the potential to be so good, and it just never really got put the right direction, in my opinion. And it was that feud for me that really put both Sandow and Cody Rhodes over. That was a feud that really built the two of them up, and now look where they are. Sandow is... I don't know where Sandow is. I barely even hear him anymore. He was with Global Force Wrestling for a while, then that seems to have fizzled out now. And Cody's now doing pretty well, working New Japan, Ring of Honor, all the indie scene, that sort of stuff. So it's a little bit of a weird one, isn't it, really? It's frustrating because both those guys could have been something special. As Cody there with a crossroads on Curtis Axel early in the match. 1, 2... Oh no, I was going to say Cactus Jack. It's not Cactus Jack. Curtis Axel kicks out there from the crossroads. Cody can't believe it, bringing Curtis back up to his feet. Into the turnbuckle. Hoist him up on the top. What's Cody looking for now? Oh, Axel fighting back. Into a diving elbow right to the top of the head of Cody. And Curtis Axel now just trying to turn things around, just slamming the back of the head of Cody into the mat. And Axel just taking a break, taking a couple of seconds here to get himself back on track. Axel now with the scoop slam. Brings Cody back up to his feet. There's the snapman. Axel over the top of the cutter. Axel now stalking Cody. This would be a massive victory for Curtis Axel if he can pull this off. Oh, rotating neckbreaker. There's the pin. 1, 2, and Cody Rhodes kicks out from Axel. Very interesting match, this one. You'd put your money on Cody Rhodes here, but you can never write Axel off, can you, really? Of course, Cody needs this win to try and keep pushing Octane, the Bullet Club, further forward, of course. They're not at the best of times so far in this Universe Mode Bullet Club. Cody now bringing Axel back up, but Axel playing possum, taking Cody down. Drags him middle of the ring. What is Axel doing here? I don't think Axel knows what he's up to, and he goes for a pin now. That was the weirdest bit of AI I think I've seen in, well, in this match. I was going to say in a while, but we've seen the last 2 matches. What's happened in those? Axel just stamping on the back of the head of Cody Rhodes. Bringing Cody back up, but Cody big knee strike right in the face of Axel. Cody now up on the middle rope, taunting. Maybe not the wisest thing to do because it's given Axel a chance to get back up to a knee. Cody gets on the back of Axel into a Saito suplex. Back up to his feet. Into the corner he goes. We saw Cody trying something with the corner earlier on. So you're going to go for the... Oh, nice. An overcastle. Dropping a boot right in the face of Curtis Axel. And another big knee strike right in the face of Axel as well. Cody stalking Axel. Axel's been busted open by that... oh, beautiful. Beautiful flatliner. Yeah, Curtis Axel busted open by that knee strike. And Cody gets the free count from the flatliner. Good match here between these two, actually. I was quite impressed with that. That match was tenfold better than the rest of the matches we've seen here so far this evening. And no surprises, it was Cody Rhodes who comes out with the victory. And, of course, the 5 points to add to his current ranking total. So well done to Cody Rhodes. Boom, over the top cutter there by Curtis Axel. Spinning neckbreaker by Curtis Axel as well. He looks pretty good. You'll have to hand it to Axel. He did pretty well here this evening. He would have been written off at the very beginning by a lot of people, I would imagine. But really showed his ability here. And here was that big flatliner just hooking the leg at the same time to really slam the face of Axel into the mat. And that was enough for the free count. So Cody Rhodes victorious. Bullet Club victorious. But of course, there's still one more Bullet Club match for you to come here this evening. Kenny Omega takes on Christopher Daniels in our main event. But before that, we've got a cracker for you. And here is that cracker we've got for you. Daniel Bryan takes on Lord Steven Regal, one-on-one. And here we go then. Should be an interesting one. This both these guys very good. Both very good technical wrestlers. Of course, Daniel Bryan's technicality sort of left his moveset quite a bit towards the end of his WWE career. So he was fantastic technical. He was the man with 1,000 submissions and knew the reversal for them all. And then as time went on, he turned into this flying goat style character instead, which in my opinion was what ended his career, because his original moveset was not as manic, shall we say. He wasn't running around jumping into things and suicide dives and this, that, and diving headbutts and this, that, and the other. It was all about the mat wrestling, all about the submission holds. And I really liked him back then. And I liked him when he had his run as well, don't get me wrong. I thought he was pretty good when he had his run towards the end of his career. But I just feel like if he'd stuck to his guns and maybe not gone too over the top, he might have been able to prolong his career a little bit, which is it's a real shame, in my opinion, because he ended his career at probably the worst possible time because of all the guys coming through from NXT. We missed out on Daniel Bryan versus AJ Styles. Daniel Bryan versus Samoa Joe. Even Daniel Bryan versus Bobby Roode, I suppose. You got the likes of Cassius Ohno in there now. Daniel Bryan, Roderick Strong as well would have been amazing. It's just so many good matches that we missed out on. with obviously Daniel Bryan's career-ending injuries. And here comes Lord Steven Regal. Of course, if you don't know already, I'm sure most of you already do, and you can probably guess if you don't know already. Lord Steven Regal is the WCW version before he moved to WWE, of course, of William Regal. Now, Regal left WCW. I might be wrong here, but I'm going to go for it anyway. Regal left WCW after a match between himself and Goldberg, where he was supposed to job to Goldberg, but instead he out-wrestled him instead. And he ended up losing the match in the end anyway. He ended up getting speared and jackhammered and losing the match, but in the process he made Goldberg look a little bit like a fool. And of course, at the time, WCW was all about pushing Goldberg to the stars as quickly and as well as they possibly could, and Regal sort of scuppered that a little bit. So that is my memory. Whether that's the correct memory, I'm not 100% sure, I must admit. But that is my memory of why Regal left WCW and joined WWE, and was utilised a lot better in WWE. He really was. I feel like some sort of good stable could be had with Lord Steven Regal, Hunter Hearst Helmsley, and Damien Sandow. The Intellectuals. What do you think of that? I don't think Hunter Hearst Helmsley is actually on 2K18 though, is he? There's 3 Triple H's, but none of them are that sort of gimmick. I think it's 98, 2002 and current day or something like that, I think. You can have a look at the list now. It's on the WWE 2K forums. There's the full list of all the wrestlers on the game. So yeah, it's pretty cool. It's a bit of a shocking one as well though, because you've got 5 different Sting characters, which I thought was a little bit odd. Nice manoeuvre there by Regal, just drag him back. It's like a real painful version of the Dragon Sleeper, that, because you've got the legs hooked as well. So not only are you wrenching back at the neck and the shoulders, but also contorting the back as well. Regal taking some early control in this match, but then gets caught straight away by Daniel Bryan with that running knee strike. Now dropping an elbow right on the inside the knee of William Regal, or Lord Steven Regal, or just Regal. Regal is someone who I'm absolutely stunned once again that 2K have left out of 2K18. I really am. The 3 that stunned me the most are Regal, Arn Anderson, and Bill who? Brian Pillman, that's the one. Pine Billman. Yeah, Brian Pillman, Arn Anderson, and William Regal, the 3 that shocked me. They did put Albert back in there after a while, which I thought Albert I was a bit shocked about as well, because considering he works as one of the main trainers in NXT, I thought it seems a bit odd to take him out of the game. The Dudley Boys are understandable because of Bubba leaving the company and going back to Ring of Honor. The New Age Outlaws are understandable due to Billy Gunn failing the drugs test and going to New Japan. And the other ones are people that have left the company, aren't they? So, Stardust, Simon Gotch, Austin Aries. Yeah, just all guys that have left the company. So it's a little bit of a... I don't know, I just think it was a bit odd, some of the people they did leave out. They've added quite a few people. Of course, they've added a lot of the NXT people, mainly. I think a lot of people, when we heard we were going to get a much bigger roster, I think people assumed we were going to get more legends and this, that and the other. But the problem is, everyone's sat there going, we're going to get nearly 200 wrestlers, and everyone's really happy about that. When you realise 5 of those are Sting, 2 of those are Finn Balor. Yeah, they've separated Finn Balor from Demon Finn Balor now. 3 of those are Triple H, 5 of those are The Undertaker. There's 2 Rocks, there's 2 or 3 Austins. There's 2 Big Boss Mans, 2 DDPs, 2 Cactus Jacks. And I don't mean separate attires, I mean completely separate wrestlers. And it makes you think that if... It's just a little bit annoying, because you think to yourself, we could have held all these brand new legends, and instead we've just got the same legend over and over again, just with a slightly different hairstyle. And it's a bit frustrating, really, isn't it? But because some of the people that have been left out, and not just legends, but people like from normal people, like Almas is one that stuns me. He's one of the main names in NXT, and he's been left out of the game. That shocked me, that did. Oh, look at that Regal plex there by Regal. 2. And Regal picks a victory over Daniel Bryan. That's a really big win, that is, for Regal. Really big. And that is going to be one that's going to give him a nice few ranking points heading into WWE 2K18's SWE Universe mode. He will be involved, of course. Not somebody who... not someone who's on the game, but he will be someone who will be downloaded pretty quickly, I'm sure. I'm sure there'll be lots of Regals being created very soon. There we go then, William Regal victorious here against Daniel Bryan. A little bit surprised there. Not necessarily that Regal won, but Regal won in such a dominant fashion. Bryan didn't put up much of a fight in this one, did he really? And here we go then, main event of the evening time. Christopher Daniels takes on Kenny Omega. And of course, the Young Bucks will be at ringside. And here we go then. See if we can finish tonight's show off on a high. Of course, this is the last ever episode of Octane. And it has been full of bugs so far. And this could also be the last appearance of some people on this roster as well. Daniel is currently not scheduled for a match at Shabby Mania yet. Like I said though, there's chances for things to change. And of course there is still going to be the 30-man Rumble to contend with. Don't forget about the 30-man Rumbles. Those will be between people that are not champions and already not guaranteed a place on their roster for next year. The winner of the Rumble will then be guaranteed a place on that roster. So it could be a very good way of certain people who are not guaranteed a spot in 2K18 to get themselves a shot because they're guaranteed a space. Does that make any sense? Yeah, sort of. But of course, anybody who is aligned with that person who wins the Rumble will also be put into that roster as well. So, for example, should Pete Dunne win the Rumble, then Tyler Bates and Trent Seven will join in there because they're all part of the British Strong Style stable. But of course, Pete Dunne might win the European Championship at Shabby Mania. That means it won't really matter too much anyway. So here we go then. The Elite. Kenny Omega at the front. Matt Jackson on the left at the back there. Nick Jackson on the right. A bit annoying, there's never a really good version of the Young Bucks. This is actually pretty good attire-wise and everything like that. That's all spot on. It's just the faces that's a little bit out. I don't know. They're pretty good, I suppose. Yeah, pretty good, I suppose. They still look a little bit generic. Like, Omega looks very much like Omega. But the other guys look a little bit out there, don't they? But does the trick still, doesn't it? And this will be an interesting one as well then. Kenny Omega should be the main man on this roster in my opinion. But he's never done that spectacularly well so far. Whereas hopefully in 2K18 he's going to do a little bit better. I'm hoping. I'm hoping that Octane's still going to be his place of home. And if the Young Bucks do win the Tag Team Championships at Shabby Mania, then of course Octane will be his home. So we go then, Christopher Daniels versus Kenny Omega. The bell goes and we are underway. Nice belly to back suplex there by Omega on Christopher Daniels. And wrenching away at the gut of Daniels, who gets himself back up to his feet. Now Daniels gets around the back of Omega, looking for that belly to back slam. Now into the headlock. Great chain wrestling to start this match off. Both these guys, quite similar styles, I suppose. They're both quite accomplished mat wrestlers, but not necessarily high flying as such, but very agile and do have a few high risk maneuvers in their arsenal, but they're not dedicated high flyers like proper cruiserweights. Big stamp on the back of the arm there by Omega on Daniels. Omega now on top as Daniels slowly gets back up to his feet. Nice jump in Hurricanrana by Omega. Omega then who brings Daniels up to a kneeling base, slaps him round the face. Clothesline there by Daniels. And Daniel's taking an early control of this match. Oh, as Omega fights back with that right hand. Proving me wrong. Atomic drop there by Daniels on Omega as well. Daniels trying to bring Omega back up, but Omega catching Daniels with a big knee in the face. And a boot across the chest as well. Omega now hoisting Daniels up. Deadlift German suplex, showing some great core strength as well. There's me talking about the agility of these two guys. And Omega just showing his brute strength now. Gorilla press. Who even makes this moveset and gives him a gorilla press? That seems a bit out of place to me. Deadlift German I can see, but gorilla press, Daniels now gets caught with a suplex by Kenny Omega as well. Omega went for the jumping knee strike, but Daniels caught him. Omega fighting with the elbows. Now taking Daniels up. Oh, nice. Cross-legged fisherman suplex. It's clever that, because as you cross the legs, it tenses the muscles in parts of the body. Jumping knee strike by Omega as well. Yeah, once you cross the legs, it tenses the body on one side of your body. And then once you get dropped on it, it's very painful. Omega taking Daniels up on his shoulders. Hooks him in. One winged angel on the fallen angel. 1, 2. And Kenny Omega is victorious here in the main event of Octane. Gets himself a nice 10 points. And made short work here of Christopher Daniels as well, didn't he? Very short work of Christopher Daniels. One winged angel there. Very impressive. And Kenny Omega is victorious. And Bullet Club's had a good night. Their wins for Cody Rhodes and for Kenny Omega. What a great way to finish off our last episode of Octane. But of course, it's not the end of Octane yet. We've still got 3 more Octane videos for you. We have got both parts of Shabby Mania. And of course, we also have the Octane Rumble as well. Anyway, guys, that's the end of this episode of Octane. I hope you have enjoyed it. I apologise for me getting really salty at the beginning with the glitchiness. I just want to make sure, as I've said before, I want to put up the best videos I possibly can. And when the game does not want to play ball, it just really frustrates me. But luckily, the end of the show has really picked up and helped us out. Good wins for Regal, good wins for Cody, and good wins for Kenny Omega as well. I've been Shabby Gamer. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in a couple of days' time, on Saturday, in fact, for our next episode of SWE Universe Mode, and it will be Throwdown, our last ever episode of Throwdown. I'll see you all there. Bye. Bye.